Hey crafters, today we're back with page 4 side B. So I'm just going to zoom out a little. So I'm just going to show you how to do the borders on the acetate page, and also another alternative to do this pocket as well. In the video of the side A, I did show you that I used a border die, and yeah, it'd be the decorative border strip, and then the center bit that I cut out with a die as well. The other alternative, I'll just get stuck into it. The other alternative is to use a punch. Okay, so what I did do with this one, just to give you an example, I didn't cut it straight at all by any means, but you'd put more focus on that, is just punched a long strip on both sides and then cut it off to the length of the paper or the width of the paper that I needed it at. Okay, and that gives you that decorative border. Then I did go in with my paper trimmer and I did do a split. You could probably do a 1/4 inch on the inside here. Mine's kind of not straight by any means. You can do a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 of an inch, totally up to you. Or if you didn't have a paper, a punch, what you could do is just do a square piece of paper and then cut the center part down. So what you want to do, if you're doing these options, just put it, once you've cut it out and everything, this piece, the top layer of it, I would recommend maybe just putting it and laying it down where you want it to sit on your pocket, where you want it as a pocket. Okay, so what I did do is I laid mine down and then I traced the inside of it so that I know where to cut my pocket at on the designer part of the paper. So I haven't got my pencil, so I'm going to use a pen. This is a scrap piece of paper, so I'm going to do it down the bottom here, guys, because obviously I don't want to be wasting too much of it. All right, so I'm just going to go around with my pen, and then that way I know exactly where to cut. Now you can see it here that my cut line really isn't straight or level, so I just want to go in, and you can washi tape this down as well, just so that you get a better cut line, a straighter edge when you're tracing. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my small paper trimmer. I know where I'm cutting, and hopefully it works out, because it never does for me on the camera, as we all know. I'm just going to move it over. Okay, then I'm going to cut it out with my scissors. My gold scissors are over there. Okay, so I have my pocket, or my slit of my pocket cut out. Just do this one. Nib it. Oh, snip it, come on. Okay, then what you want to do is grab this piece and glue the back of it. Now what you'll do is glue it down and you lay it over the top of that part there that you've just cut out. Now I'm going to do mine a little bit more because I misjudged the length of it on my paper trimmer, so it's all good. I'll just go on with a pair of scissors, and you won't be able to see it because of the fact that you will be covering it over anyway. Okay, so you can see my slit there. All right, then what I'll do is just grab my wet glue and put it on this side here, just to adhere it down. Really simple, easy to do, and you just put it over that, and now you've got your decorator pocket. Now what you want to do is, obviously your pocket will be longer well, how can I say longer, in depth, right? So you want a bit of depth to your pocket. So what you would do on the designer paper, you would tape all this top part up at the back, but this bottom half, all you want to do is put glue from this edge around on 3 sides, because we still, if you tape that side, we wouldn't be able to get the anything in those pockets. So we need wet glue around the edges, because wet glue dries, and obviously dries clear but you can't see it. But the other reason for using the wet glue, it won't stick to the sides. If you use tape, you'll find if your tape is wider than your pocket here, you'll find that your tags will stick on it, and that's what you don't want, because when you're pulling it out, it'll rip your tags. So that's why I use wet glue around these edges, but the top edge is fully sealed with tape, double-sided tape. So that would be this case too. So if I wanted a shorter length pocket on my page, what I would do is turn it over, and this part here I would actually add wet glue to 3 sides, and the rest of it would be stuck down with tape. Obviously that's a waste of a big piece of paper, I wouldn't do that, but certainly when you cut it down to the size of your page. So that's just another option. The other one is you can use a Stampin' Up punch. You can use any dies that you've got that have got a rectangle shape to them. You know, probably not so wide, or you can make it as a wide pocket as well. All right, so let's get started on the acetate pages now. Now I decided with the album, a couple of the pages I'd done and they didn't have the acetate flips, we'd done something else, but the more I went into it and flipped it, the more I liked the acetate on the back pages. Now when I created this one, I did do all 4 sides. If you would have seen in the album, I'd only done 2 sides on all of the pages. So I'm going to go back and do the other sides as well, because I think it looks more finished off and more refined. So I really like that. So that's why we're going to do this. Now for this page, and you'll do the same concept for your smaller pages as well. Okay, so I'll show you on the bigger scale page. So this one measures 7.5 by 9 3/4. Okay, and that's the acetate. So what you will do, you'll need to create some hinges. Now I did film this earlier and it just didn't turn out, so I'm redoing it again. I kind of peeled up things and we're all good now. Okay, so you will create a 1-inch hinge. Well, you cut your strip at 1 inch and score it in half. So you will have, you will put score tape on one edge only, on one half. Okay, so you'll need that. So we'll do that first. Okay, now the reason for that is because we will be taping it down to the base page. Okay, so there's my 1/2 inch, and then the other half is taped down to the page underneath the designer paper. Okay, so that will create your flip. So when you do that, you want the adhesive to fall on the top of that page, not underneath it. So I'm just gonna do it this way for argument's sake. It is all gunked up at the moment, but that's fine, I can fix it up. Okay, so I'm gonna get it in there. Now obviously you would do a lot more layers of tape on that 1/2 inch. If you've got a 1/2 inch score tape, you should be able to put that on there as well. Okay, so there's our top flip. All right, now the designer paper, when I did cut it out, I cut it out at 1/4 inch. Now if you see here, you'll see that those sides overlap. Now that didn't bother me, I really like the look of it. So all I done was just come in from the edge there just to create a little bit of a border around here and around there. Okay, so shorter up the top and shorter down the bottom too. So you can do it whichever way you like. Okay, then the next bit is this bit, and of course you're going to cut them the same width, 7.5 by 4 3/4. Sorry, 7.5 by 9 3/4 for the big page. Okay, so this is the full one. The full one you are going to tape on both sides. Okay, so we want to add adhesive to both sides of that. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay it down. I'm gonna come in and pinch that because now I know that we've got it set. Okay, so you'll come in with your bone folder, make sure it's all flattened and what have you. All right, and we've got that. Oh, I love this. Alrighty, then I'm going to grab my 7.5 inch piece and we're going to put it down the bottom. So what we're almost doing is constructing a frame basically. So you'll need 2 of these pieces. So on both of these pieces you put double-sided tape on both sides, the inside like that. Okay. Now when you're putting it on the top edge, you want to open this flap up because if you close it and put that over, you're not going to have a hinge. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around this way again, just so that I can see it better too. That put my head in the camera. Whoop. And acetate is very forgiving too. You can lift things up and it's easy to clean off if you mess up too. Okay, so we've got that up the top here. All right, so there's that, and now we're going to do the bottom piece. Now you can do this for any of your sizes in the album. So I'm going to use this page on page 5 and page 5. Doesn't really matter because I put them in those orders, but you can put your pages in any order that you like after creating this album. Okay, you don't need to put it in the same order that I do, or you can, totally up to you. But I just don't want you to feel like you needed to do it exactly my way. All right. Okay, so that is the flip. Now when it comes to the inside here, what you will do is cut out a strip of paper. Now you want that at 1/2 inch. So let me grab my handy dandy paper trimmer. I know I've got my marking there. What I want to do is make sure it's straight. I don't think this paper is straight. Let me get another piece. I don't think that is straight. Okay. So I'm going to do it this way. And you're about there. All right. So I'm going to cut the 1/2 inch and then I'm going to go by the length that I need it, and that's 9 3/4. So I will go along, and there's 9 3/4 there. Okay. So then what you want to do is put adhesive along it on one side, then on the other side you'll be sticking down your designer paper. So let me go ahead and do that. Just want to make sure I've got my tape to the edge. Okay. Alrighty. So this part here that is exposed, I'm going to lay this down on top of it. Oh. And of course, I didn't keep an eye out. Just going to peel that up. Maybe do it along this way. Might be easier. Okay. So this part here will also have designer paper on top of it. Now, as you can see there, I didn't get it level. I'll fix that up in a moment just to give you an idea. So essentially the part that we just done was this part here, and then you would add your designer paper on top of it as well. Okay. Now, the other thing is too, you really don't need to do just like a 1/2 inch border. If you're using a punch, obviously that border is going to be a bit wider. I decided not to do a punch on this one, and I like the clean look of it. But you yourself might like to have, you know, a punched edge to it. Now, you would also need 2 of these, which are 7.5 by 4 3/4, so you'll need 2 pieces, and that will create either this kind of a flip or the side flip, which I did do, I think, on one of the pages. I can't, let me grab my album. Seriously, gotta knock everything. Oh, today has just been one of those days, guys, and I'm at home too, of all things. Can you believe it? Okay, or you can create this side flip. Okay, now I've got, it's all going up there. You can create this side flip here. All right, you would use the same concept as we did with the big page. So you would only have one of the hinges with half the tape on it, one side. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way because it's easier for me to see it this way. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and there's our hinge, which will go across. Then we will put the other sides to it as well. And this is 7.5 by 4 3/4. The bigger piece was 7.5 by 9 3/4. Okay. Alrighty. And fold that over. Make sure that it's all burnished nicely. And flip it over. Then we've got our top part. Just gonna line that up as best as I can. Once again, I'm going to burnish it and burnish that, and then we will go on to the top piece. And once you get used to doing it, the edges and everything will be easier to do as well. Just gets a little bit difficult sometimes on camera. Okay, so that's your smaller flip pocket, and of course I'll go in and put my strip there and decorate it for the next video, which will be page 5. So we're not going to do page 5 and 6 side A and B. We're just going to do page 5 and page 6 because these will be our side B, so we're not going to need to worry about it. All right, thanks again guys for watching. Crafters, I should say, guys. Thank you everybody for taking the time to watch my videos. Please like, subscribe and share the videos. Stay tuned for lots more. Like I said, I'll be doing page 5 and page 6, and I think in between this one I'm going to do a little haul as well. So thanks again guys for watching. You take care, please take care of one another and have a happy scrappy day. Okay, bye.